It's quite windy here, but we are the land of sheep. The sheep outnumber us. There are 70,000 sheep compared to 52,000 people. It used to be wool is gold here. The whole reason why this started is because we were invited for a sheep weekend, I will say. When they came in for lunch, I asked the farmer, so what are we going to do with these hides? And he said, well, we're going to make a bonfire and we're going to burn them. And I said, what? No, 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 no. Well, I dove right into it and collected people from all over the Nordics. And we have a fabulous group, and that's how Wool in the North started.
I am a knitwear designer. The way I design is very much inspired by my style. And my style is very much inspired by Japan and by the Faroe Islands. I want to tell the story about the Faroe Islands. That is my optimal goal. I want to share the story of our culture. I'm very curious about how we have come to this wool and why they did patterns, why they knitted their sleeves, attached their sleeves instead of knitting from top down, why they did all these things that they did. Personally, I am more in the gray, light gray, where you have a little bit of black accent, rather than you have a light gray that has more of a brown accent. But that I do not decide that. The sheep decides that, and those who separate the wool, and that is the yarn we get if we want to keep to natural colors. So when I have the yarn in my hands, I have to think, what will this be perfect for? And then at the same time, I'm curious about how it was back in the days. So we have quite a different lifestyle, but we still have the same, more or less the same weather. We still live here. We have relearned that we have to appreciate nature. We have to appreciate just both nature in terms of what nature gives, like the soil and the sheep and the birds and all those things, but also in terms of getting fresh air and being active lifestyle outside rather than inside. So how can a woolen sweater complement that? And how can we make wool more fashionable?
When you come here and you're following basically the path of the sheep, you're diving into the Faroese culture, and it's embedding you in these farmers' lives. And this is true. This is what's been here. This is our ancestry. And from a cultural heritage background, you're learning not only seeing tangible heritage, which could be churches and farms and different things of value to them, but also intangible. You're learning the intangible cultural heritage, which could also be songs, it could be dance, it could be farming, it could be different ways, baking, it could be cooking the lamb. But there's so many different ways to see the Faroes, and following the sheep path is a brilliant way to do it.
Most of my customers are actually tourists. I really love that they are actually more curious about the Faroese wool, and they love to tell the story that they got this from the Faroe Islands, that they use the wool that otherwise would be burnt. They want to support my wool activism. They want to support the story that I want to tell and the heritage I want to be part of saving. So I think the best thing would actually be if our consumerism was more based on fulfilling our curiosity, our knowing that we are doing good both for the environment and for other cultures and for our own culture as well. We share the sheep not for the yarn, but for the sheep's welfare. But when you have this, why in God's world wouldn't you use this for good? Because this is good.